Hello everybody, this is Zaxter99. Today I'm going to talk about the Cowboys with my TNT thoughts and talk after yesterday's Sunday night game against the New Orleans Saints. What a surprise, huh? I remember last week though saying after the Cowboys beat the Rams, a lot of people didn't buy it. I looked on a lot of different websites. Most people seemed to predict that the Saints were going to win in a shootout or that the Saints would clobber the Cowboys. And I said last week that if we stopped the turnovers, if we kept from turning the ball over, okay, and we ran behind Demarco Murray, that the Cowboys had a good shot of winning. And I firmly believe that, and here we see the results after last night. Now, I didn't think we would be quite as dominant as we were, but congratulations to the Cowboys. Congratulations to all the Cowboy fans out there. Woohoo! So, hell yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen the Cowboys look as good as they did Sunday night. So, I know that this is a great moment for all the Cowboy fans out there, all the people that love watching the Cowboys. I want to go ahead and say as a longtime Cowboy fan, though, try to hold down your excitement. Don't be putting the Cowboys deep in the playoffs yet or in the Super Bowl. The Cowboys last night stayed with a run. They played smart football, and they played virtually mistake-free football. They didn't have any turnovers. Demarco Murray had another big rushing game. He's up to 534 yards, guys, on 4 games. He's leading the NFL by more than 100 yards. The next closest one is like 380-something. So Murray is a dominant running back. If he stays healthy and we continue to pound the ball as we did last night, there's probably not a team out there that we can't win against, including Seattle. However, we have to continue to play smart football. We have to keep, when we play teams coming up like the Texans, who are 3-1 next Sunday, and then the weekend after that we go up to Seattle. Okay? If we can win against the Texans and then go up there and beat Seattle in their own home, which is very hard to do lately in Seattle, then you guys can start getting excited. If we go 2-2 or 2-0 the next 2 games and we wind up at a 5-1 record after Seattle, then yeah, start talking. But I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, I think that we're going to probably lose one, if not both, of the next 2 games. It wouldn't surprise me. Dallas needs to continue to play consistent football. They need to continue to be smart and, you know, have a balanced attack with the running game, and then hope we stay injury-free. Now, we didn't last night. We lost Bruce Carter. We also lost Morris Claiborne last night, and he's out for the season. So he has a torn ligament down close to his ankle, I believe. And anyway, we've lost Morris Claiborne for the duration of the year. That is not good. Now, a lot of people said that Claiborne is underperforming. It was even said by Jerry Jones, but still Claiborne is probably going to be better than the guy that's going to be replacing him. We can't expect a new guy to come in here and you know, put up the same kind of performances we expected of Claiborne, who was a number 6 draft pick in the first round just a couple of years ago. I think it was 2012. But you know, we can certainly hope that, you know, that our depth is pretty decent on the defense. I got to go ahead and give a big shout out to the defense yesterday against New Orleans. You're talking about a very prolific passer in Drew Brees. And the Cowboys were able to get some pressure on him. They were able to make him make mistakes. They were able to cover the receivers pretty good. And I was surprised that the Cowboys were able to basically hold the Saints point-free in the first half. 24-0 was our lead. And that's what we can do when we have a balanced attack, by balancing our attack and having a running game with DeMarco Murray. And the offensive line that we've drafted in heavily the last 3 out of the last 4 years is now starting to pay off already. Even though Zach Martin is still, you know, a rookie, he is playing well. Now, I also remember last year in 2013, in April 2013, Dallas went into the draft. They kept trading back, and they ended up getting Travis Frederick. after last year in the draft was a huge offensive lineman draft. There were so many offensive linemen taken in the first round. And by the time that we got our pick and made Travis Frederick, I believe he was like the 10th offensive lineman taken off the board, something like that. Maybe even more than that. And I still remember watching the live draft on NFL.com. And people were basically scoffing Jerry Jones and the Cowboys for taking Frederick, who they put as, I think, a 4th-round talent or a 4th-round grade or something like that. I can't remember, 3rd or 4th-round grade. And they were basically saying Dallas reached big time for Frederick. And I remember, you know, they were like laughing about it. They thought Dallas made such a bad pick there. You know, making an offensive lineman pick is not a glamorous choice. They went into this year's draft, and everybody was hoping that, you know, the Dallas would draft Johnny Football and Johnny Manziel. And Dallas didn't. Dallas went with Zach Martin again. Again, not a glamorous, not a popular pick to pick an offensive lineman. But that's smart drafting, especially when you're getting quality picks like Dallas has. Last year with Travis Frederick, Travis Frederick proved to be a very, very good selection for the Cowboys. He performed masterfully and is still doing that this year. So Dallas with Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick now, and now Zach Martin beefing up their offensive line, they are starting to be able to hold some holes. They're getting protection, which they desperately need for Tony Romo. Another thing last night against the Saints is Romo really started showing his poise and his ability to move in the pocket. There was at least 3 plays there where he moved masterfully in the pocket, looked like the old Tony Romo, and made some great plays. He was able to stay alive, kept from getting sacked, and found wide open receivers, one of them Jason Witten, down the field and kept a drive alive. So what I'm liking out of the Cowboys now is I'm really starting to see the Cowboys do something I haven't seen them do in a long time, and that is they are starting to come together and gel as a team. It looks like the Cowboys are out there playing as a team rather than a bunch of individuals. What I'm not seeing this year so far is I'm not seeing statements by Des Bryant saying, you know, I'm going to hit a 2,000 yards this year, or I'm going to beat Calvin Johnson. I'm not seeing Romo out there passing the ball 50 times. You know, even though the Romo's, it's nice to see him, you know, go out there, and I'm sure it feels good to him to go out there and pass for 530 yards. That is not what we need. We don't need individual stars out there playing as individuals. No, we need to come together as we have, playing as a team, handing the ball off to Murray, letting Murray get those hard-earned yards, and throwing the ball down the field when the receivers are open. You know, spread the ball around, spread the success around, and play as a team rather than a bunch of individuals, and that's really what it's looking like, and I think that's part of the success that we're having this year. It's really, really nice to see. Another big thing, I know that the, you know, NFL has went to a lot more heavily pass-oriented offenses in the past 10 to 15 years, and passing really has becoming the, you know, the way to attack, or the way that most teams attack, is to score quick and, you know, down the field aerial attacks. But the old way that Dallas won back in the mid-90s with a balanced attack behind Emmitt Smith, and then, you know, opening things up for Michael Irvin and company, and then, you know, they of course had Troy Aikman. If Dallas can go back to that, even though that was the mid-90s recipe for success, if they continue with what they're doing so far and have that balanced run and aerial attack, I think they're going to see some big-time success. And it's really important that you do run the football. You know, even if you're playing a pass-oriented team like the Saints or maybe Seattle coming up or whatever, if you can run the football, not only does it open up, you know, other things such as Jason Witten over the middle or receivers open down the field, by keeping a defense honest, they're going to be watching the run, and things are naturally going to open up. And then, you know, as you start to have success passing, it's going to open up holes in the running game. So it really does help an offense a lot to have more of a running attack rather than, you know, trying to pass for 500-600 yards a game or whatever, kind of like the shootout Dallas and Denver had. If Dallas could go back to the game they had last year against Denver, and they could have ran the ball more and would have just handed Demarco Murray, or I don't remember if Murray was playing in that game, but if they could have handed the ball off more and had more success in that game against Denver, I bet you that outcome of that game probably would have been a lot different, because they could have kept Peyton Manning off the field and on the bench, and Dallas could have had the control of the clock and rested their defense more than they did, and that kind of thing. So it's so important to have this balanced attack. Rest your defense. Instead of going out there, we don't want to be throwing strikes and running our offense out there. Even if we get a touchdown in 30 seconds and we have 3 quick strikes for a touchdown, that's not what we need. Because then our defense doesn't get time to rest. We take no time off the clock. We give the ball right back to a dangerous offense on the other team. Okay? No, we want to ball control, ball control, ball control. Run the ball, give our defense time to rest, and that's the recipe for winning. And we need to continue to believe that. We need to continue to do that. And I think we're going to have a lot more success if we can do that, and if we can stop the turnovers and critical mistakes at critical times. Okay. Romo, I noticed for the first time, I think I was reading for the first time in NFL history, Romo has had 2 games in a row now, last week and this week both, with a quarterback rating of over 95. Okay, now I'm not talking about the old quarterback rating. Okay, I'm talking about the new quarterback rating, where the most you can possibly get is 100. So, and this is the rating that basically takes all things into consideration, considering, were you overthrowing, were you underthrowing your receivers, how was most of your yards coming in, at the end of the game when it really doesn't matter, that kind of thing. The new quarterback rating on ESPN that they use takes a lot more things into consideration as far as how smart you're playing. Are you playing mistake-free? Are you underthrowing or overthrowing your receiver? Are you throwing easy passes like the 2 yards passes versus down the field? It takes a lot of those other factors into the rating, and I believe it's probably a lot more accurate measurement to go by as far as quarterbacks than the old quarterback rating that can go up to like 158.3 or something like that. But it's never been done before where 2 games in a row has a Dallas quarterback had over 95, and Romo has done that the last 2 weeks, and it looks like he's getting better every week. He's getting less, he has less rust, he's able to dodge defenders in the pocket more and that kind of thing. And Romo is starting to look really sharp, knock on wood. Certainly something we didn't see that first game. So, again, hold down your excitement, hold down your emotions, all you Cowboy fans out there that are getting really excited, last week. Not last night, with Dallas's dominant performance over a good team in the Saints. Okay? Try to hold it down. I'd hate for you guys to be disappointed or have a huge high this week and then have a really big low, next week or 2 weeks from now when we play Seattle, if we get embarrassed in one of those games or both of them. Okay, so let's not have huge highs and huge lows. Try to temper your emotions a little bit, and we'll see how Dallas does these next 2 weeks. And if they can come out of Seattle and they can win the next 2 games, and they can do pretty much the same thing to Seattle that we did to the Saints last night, yeah, even I'm going to be super excited then. I will be in awe. But we've seen the Cowboys in years past have really good games, like they did against Denver last year. Dallas, over the past few years, they have a lot of talent. And, on any given Sunday, they can play up to or beat any team. They've done this before. The problem the past many years with Dallas, ever since Romo's pretty much started playing, is the inconsistency. We'll see them at a really high level one week, and then the next week they'll be really low. And it's really hard to watch the Cowboys do this, when they're playing so inconsistently. So let's wait and see how Dallas does these next 2 weeks, see how they do the next 4 weeks, up to the halfway point of the season, see how consistent we stay, see if we can continue to play smart football and have a balanced attack with a running game, and we don't, start trying to put Romo out there throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game. So let's see how we do. The next 2 games against the Texans next week in Seattle, I think that's going to be 2 games that's really going to help us measure where the Cowboys stand and, what team are we talking about right now. So let's see what happens, guys, in the next 2 weeks. And then, I'll be here making these TNT videos on my YouTube every week. So I'll be here talking about it, whatever happens next week against the Texans, and definitely what happens in Seattle. And I'm really anxious to see where the Cowboys stand. But Yeah, just hold down your emotions a little bit. I know it was really nice to see the Cowboys dominate a game against a good team like the Saints, like they did last night. But I'm telling you guys, temper your emotions down a little bit. Let's not start putting them in, let's not be putting them in the Super Bowl quite yet, okay? Anyway, I want to go ahead and read y'all's comments. Be sure you put your comments down below. I definitely read every comment. Be sure when you're commenting in these sports videos, if you see somebody else make a opinion or a statement, or even me, that you think is idiotic or dumb or crazy or whatever, be sure you're not flaming people. You're not using a lot of curse words and stuff like that, or that can possibly get your comment not only removed, but it can get you banned from my YouTube channel. I don't want to have to do that. Okay. So just be halfway respectful. Think for 10 seconds, before you actually write that flaming comment calling somebody this blankety blank 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 for what they thought or what they typed as a comment or whatever. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed yet, be sure you go ahead and click that upper right button to go ahead and subscribe. Also, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you really like this video, if you enjoy watching these videos, a thumbs up helps me a lot more than you think it does. Giving me those thumbs up tells me that you guys enjoy the content and enjoy the videos and what I'm doing here on my YouTube channel for you. So please give me a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video. Also give me a thumbs down if, for some reason you don't like it. Getting those ratings and that feedback from you guys helps me understand what you guys are enjoying, and, if you guys are enjoying the content that I'm spending time not only making but uploading to YouTube and that kind of thing. Be sure you share this video as well. Keep in mind that I do read every comment that I get. I may not respond to all of them, but I do read every single comment on every video that I upload. And that goes for, I even read new comments on videos that I've made 2, 3, 4 years ago. Somebody posts a new comment on it, I read it. I may not respond to every comment, like I say, but I'm definitely reading every comment. So don't feel like, your opinion or your comment is going to be ignored or not read. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching this video. I'm assuming that if you are watching this video, you're probably a Cowboys fan, but maybe you're a Saints fan out there and you're just watching this video. Whatever it is, whatever fan you are, let me know who you're a fan of. If you are a Saints fan, if you're an Eagles fan, whatever it is, be sure you put in the comment who you're a fan of. What you think of last night's game. If you think I'm wrong, if you think the Cowboys are a joke, or you think that they're getting lucky, whatever it is, be sure you put your comments on how you feel down below. I do want to read that, and I would love to read those comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. This has been another TNT from me here at Zaxxer99, and I want to go ahead and thank you guys all, and I hope you guys all have a good night and a good day. Take care, everybody.